So this means that Singapore property market is going to be... Hi everyone, this is Pete here. So our National Day Rally in Singapore 2022 just finished. I want to highlight some of the key points that you must take note as an investor. So let's get straight into it. Number one, the Prime Minister of Singapore highlighted that the inflation is very likely to persist. In fact, he said that the era is now over. And what is he referring to? He's referring to the era of low prices, and he does see the prices going forward to continue to increase. And generally that should worry a lot of people, but as investors, if you are investing in productive assets like good companies and properties, you should not be too concerned as these assets will also increase in prices, right? Number two is that he highlighted a lot of new initiatives that's going to come along the way to attract the top global talents for Singapore. Now the keyword here is not just local talents, but global talents, because he says that talents attract companies from all over the world. So this is also likely to increase demand for housing in Singapore, and in particular, if they are attracting foreigners in the first place, foreigners currently in Singapore are not able to buy our public housing, so therefore it is very likely this will increase the private housing demand. Now, having said that, we are already witnessing some form of increased demand from one of the biggest country in the world, which is China, right, which is coming into the Singapore property market because of the politically stable and well-regulated environment. And we even see news like Chinese buyer dropping 61 million, buying 20 condo units in one go. And this is on the back of all the very high additional buyer stamp duty. Currently, the ABSD for foreigners is 30% in Singapore. However, it doesn't seem to taper down the demand, because in the recent quarter, there were over 1,000 units that were sold to foreigners. And in percentage terms wise, with 6,800 units sold, this will account for almost 17%. So what does this mean? This means that the demand for Singapore housing by foreigners is still pretty high. And why is 17% high is because if you look at it historically, right, the percentage has always hovered around the teens and increasing to the 20s, right? I think the Lala days of 30% is not going to come back anytime soon. So I think a reasonable expectation is for us to return to this area of 20. So we can see or expect the foreign demand to continue to increase, because currently we are only at 17%. And number three, they announced some plans for Changi Terminal 5, right? So this is Changi Airport, and Terminal 5 will be ready by the mid-2030s, so it's going to be a while more for those of you who are looking at buying real estate near the airport to benefit from this. But one thing to take note of is that Changi Terminal 5 is huge, right? In terms of area, it is about the same size as all the existing terminal added together, and it has the combined capacity of Terminal 1 and Terminal 3 combined together as well. Now, how is this going to impact the area in Singapore, in the eastern part of Singapore, in terms of housing? Is that they're going to create this Changi East Urban District, which is a lifestyle and business hub. And from the grander scheme of things, you can see that there's a lot of activities that's going to build around the Changi Airport. So this may have a chance to revive the whole eastern area, the Changi, Loyang area, in terms of housing. And just to give you guys a closer look, right, this is from URA, how it will potentially look like when it is fully done up by 2030. So it's going to be a long-term plan. So if you intend to benefit from this, do bear in mind, whatever you are buying and investing, you must have the holding power in order to see the fruits of your labor. All right. Now, another thing that PM highlighted very strongly is the port's relocation. So currently, the government is moving the Pasir Panjang terminal and also the Brani Tanjong Pagar terminal over to Tuas, right? Why is that the case? Because this whole area is prime land, and they're going to move forward to develop the greater southern waterfront. So there's going to be a lot of housing demands coming up here, both public and private. So we'll see a lot of supply coming from this area. So therefore, right now, I'm even helping a lot of my students looking at properties in this area, right, for investment purposes, because there's going to be very clear upside, right, from all these future development. Now, one thing that our Singapore government is really good at is long-term planning, right? We have the master plan that talks about, the next 5 years to 15 years, but we even have something that goes beyond the horizon of 15 years, and this is the long-term planning review. So right now, this is the long-term planning review map for the URA. It's a very comprehensive map. Some of you, when you look at this, it gets very confused. I just want to point you to certain key points that I personally watch out for. It's actually this shaded area over here, right? What are all these? If you look at the legend, these are basically future development sites, okay? And of course, where are these areas? This is, of course, the Greater Southern Waterfront. This is the East Coast area, and this is Paya Lebar Air Base. Now, they also highlight which are going to be the new housing district. So if you go to URA website, you will see these. These are the one in orange circle. These are all the new housing areas. And in particular, I'm focused on a few of them. For example, Turf City over here, because it's really right in the central area of Singapore. And the whole Greater Southern Waterfront, including East Coast, right? And you can see there's Paya Lebar Air Base, of course, and the Jurong Lake District that's coming up. And one thing that many people kind of overlook is that the northern part of Singapore has always been relatively undeveloped. So therefore, right, there's going to be a lot more future development coming out because these are the growth areas that are possible. And you can see there are many future housing districts that's going to come up over here. Now, if you look in terms of transportation, so what I've done here is I've overlaid the upcoming lines, which is this bold green line with the map of Singapore, right? Because they don't actually do this on URA. So I want to do this to show you guys where are the focus area coming up. So focus area will be the interchange. So where the interchange coming up will be King Albert Park, where the Cross Island line will have an interchange with the blue line, right? And you will also have another interchange at Clementi, which is a Cross Island line with the East-West line, and Outram Park, right, over here, which is the future Thomson East Coast line. And Outram Park in particular is going to be a three-station MRT interchange, okay? There's also going to be Marina Bay, which is a interchange of Circle Line and Thomson East Coast line. And last but not least, there's a very huge development coming out for the Jurong area. And just to give you guys a closer look, right, I pulled this out from Land Transport Guru, and you can see there are three main interchange, which is Choa Chu Kang Station, all right, Jurong East Station, and followed by Boon Lay Station. With the MRT station, of course, one thing you want to buy about properties going forward is where are the future development, and I always feel that the interchange holds a premium over the other station because that's where you have accessibility to multiple lines. So really, these are the focus area that I'm focusing right now. Now let's talk about Paya Lebar Air Base, which was also featured during the National Day rally. This is Paya Lebar Air Base, which will be moved out also by the 2030. So it's not going to be immediate. It's going to be a slightly long-term plan. But if you are looking at the area in terms of buying a place in the area, you'll be happy to know that there are a lot of development coming up, right? This is the broad plans. I would say these plans from URA are definitely for illustration, definitely not fixed in stone, but definitely Paya Lebar Air Base will be redeveloped. So you can see part of the Cross Island line is over here, and they're going to build this area into both residential, right, and commercial space as well. Okay, so a very quick summary of what the National Day Rally revealed to us as investors, real estate investors in Singapore is this, right? Number one is that inflation is likely to persist, and I fully agree with this, right? I know out there are many talks about inflation. We are reaching peak inflation, it's going to come down. I honestly do not think so. Why? Simply because there's one country that has yet to be unlocked, which is China, right? So imagine the consumption power of China coming out once they are unlocked. It's going to be really massive, and that's what a lot of us are watching in the upcoming CCP gathering, right? Their annual AGM. What they will announce, will they lessen the rules? If they loosen the rules, then there's a great chance that inflation will further increase when all the Chinese are going to come out and start spending. And on top of that, the oil prices, I do not think oil prices are going to come down anytime soon. So I fully agree with PM over here is that.
And this brought down the cost of many products and kept prices worldwide very stable. This era is now over.
The era of low prices is over, right? Inflation is likely to persist, and all you can do as an employee is to really make yourself more valuable, have a higher salary, and if you are doing business, is to really look at how you can improve your value proposition to your customers. Okay? Now, the second thing is that the government will do more to attract global talents, and I translate this directly to more demand for housing, in particular, private housing. Okay? And where are all this housing development coming up? right? There are more and more developments that's being announced that's focusing on the south, which is the Greater Southern Waterfront, and also in the northern part of the Singapore. So you can see the Singapore focus is not just in the central area, but really is to spread the population throughout the whole island. We are already seeing not just very high local demand for Singapore properties, but also increasing foreign demands, right? Even without the upcoming initiative for global talents, we are already seeing a lot of investment coming out from China, right, to invest in Singapore because we are stable and we are politically stable, and the economy is still very much stronger than the other parts of the world. Okay, so overall, I would say this bodes very well for Singapore property. It's a great National Day rally that highlights to us where are the growth areas. And if you're a property investor, you must watch this, okay, to find out where are the areas that you can invest in as a Singapore property investor. Alright, so that's all I have to share with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions below. So I hope you guys learned a lot, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.